You're listening to the World's Team Podcast. It's not just America's team, Cowboys Nation. It's the world's team. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Stewart and Mike Poland.
How about them Cowboys?
What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome to another episode of the World's Team Podcast, brought to you by the Believe Network and sponsored by Cowboys Experience. For the ultimate game day experience, be sure to go to www.cowboysexperience.com and use the discount code WorldsTeam2025. I am in my lonesome today. Mike is currently unavailable, and well, as you can tell, setup's a little bit different here if you're watching on YouTube, but this is pretty much more of a breaking news episode at this moment, as it's still currently in development right now, is that Micah Parsons has requested a trade from the Dallas Cowboys. He has submitted it to Stephen Jones, and he has outlined his frustrations in terms of the negotiations over the past couple of years, with the very little communication between his agent and the front office. So my first thoughts on this, I am absolutely mad as hell. I'm trying to remain professional about this, because obviously I am a Cowboys fan, always have been for a long period of time, but I still need to kind of remain somewhat professional when I'm trying to speak here. So from what I can see, it's so hard to really kind of describe what's going on right now. It's all I will say now is Cowboys Nation is going to be up in arms calling for Jerry's head at this moment, and we're already seeing that. I'm seeing that from fellow Cowboys content creators already going live on X's, Spaces, etc., which I probably will be joining with them momentarily. This is just not ideal. Like, don't get me wrong, we've had some good glimpses within training camp of like Donovan Izaraku, but we still need our star piece of our defense in Micah Parsons in the fold here. And how this all started was at the start of training camp. Like, Jerry made an outburst in the opening press conference. And I thought, oh, Jerry doing what Jerry does, just says really silly, stupid things from time to time, and it's really escalated from there. Basically the players who were mentioned was Micah Parsons, Trevon Diggs, Terrence Steele, and there was one other, I believe, as well, all to do with their contracts and being injured, etc. And the players was like, that's it. We've had enough of being bashed just out the blue like that. We can't help being injured. We're putting our bodies on the line here. Essentially what they're trying to say here is like I can understand from a perspective of the whole Stefon Diggs, like where he is like not been in the training facility and he's been fined. That's what he signed in that contract. I get that, but the Micah Parsons situation, someone make that sense to me. I really am struggling to come to terms with what's just happened as of what's happening right now in real time. So, but what I will do for our listeners on Spotify and Apple and here on YouTube, I will read out Micah Parsons' statement. So give me one wee moment here. So here we are, and the tweet as follows. This is from Micah Parsons' official account, and he says, "Yes, I wanted to be here. I did everything I could to show that I wanted to be a Cowboy and wear the star on my helmet. I wanted to play in front of the best fans in sports and make America's team once again." You forgot World's Team, Micah. Sorry. The team my pops and I grew up cheering for way up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to closed-door negotiations without my agent present, which is completely fair. That's what you have your agent. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying on the line for the organization, for our fans, and for my teammates. That's a valid point. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me, which is everything about the Dallas Cowboys. It just spirals out of control. I'll be perfectly honest. I'm sorry I keep interrupting here. Okay, I'll continue. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me. I had purposely stayed quiet in hopes of getting something done. But since there is confusion out there, let me clear some things up. I had my agent reach out to the Cowboys last off season after my third year in hopes of getting a deal done early, which is great. Unfortunately, the team did not want to start any negotiations at that point. I was okay with that. I didn't want to complain, and I focused on the 2024 season, which he did. After the season, I told my agent once again to let the team know we were open to negotiate when they met at the combine. My agent informed me that I should wait for other deals to be done because the price would only go up, which we kind of saw with like some Myles Garrett, etc. It's just the nature of the game with salary cap going up, etc. That's a given, and the agent is, and that's the whole point of having an agent, trying to get the best deal for you, pretty much. Anyway, this was before any other pass rusher deals. This was before any other pass rusher deals got done this offseason. I knew I would be leaving money on the table, but again, I was okay with that. So this, to me, right, that statement there, and we mentioned this a long time ago, Micah Parsons was willing to take a team-friendly deal, pretty much. That's what he's stating here. So that, to me, like, he wants to be a Cowboy. He wanted to be a Cowboy for the long term. He was willing to take a more reduced deal. It wasn't really caring as much being highest paid, even though I think he should be. But you get the idea. So, whereabouts was I? In March, I met with Mr. Jones to talk about leadership. Somehow, the conversation turned into him talking contracts with me. Yes, I engaged in a back and forth in regards to what I wanted for my contract, but at no point did I believe this was supposed to be a formal negotiation. You're not supposed to do that, Jerry. And I informed Mr. Jones afterward my agent would reach out thinking this would get things done. But when my agent reached out and spoke to Adam, he was told the deal was pretty much done. My agent, of course, told him that wasn't the case, and also reached out to Stephen Jones. Again, the team decided to go silent. At that point, we decided we allowed the team to reach out to us whenever they decided they wanted to talk, yet still not a call, email, or text to my agent about starting a negotiation. The last part is, up till today, the team has not had a single conversation with my agent about a contract. Not one demand has been made by my agent about money, years, or anything else. This is just painful, man. It really is. Still, I stayed quiet, but again, after repeated shots at myself and all the narratives, I have made a tough decision. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally. As everything's been unfolding, Calvin Walker actually posted a tweet of the front office actually on the field on Oxnard, possibly looking a little bit panicking right now. Don't know if that's the conversation they're having, but this is just not good at all for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to be brutally honest here. It's not. It's making us more of a laughing stock. And the reason I'm saying that is it happened last year with the whole CeeDee Lamb negotiations. It happened twice with the Dak negotiations. It seems to be so difficult to get pen on paper get deals done early for our main cast of players for this roster. I mean, okay, Jake Ferguson, I get it. Like, we just got him extended just out the blue, which is great. But when it comes to the anchor points of your football team, we just seem to let it drag out and drag out and drag out. And this is the most frustrating part for Cowboys Nation, the fans. We're sitting here basically constantly on an emotional roller coaster, having to see this time and over and over and over again. Like, I'm that annoyed that I'm stuttering that bad right now, and I don't even know this is going to be good enough to be put out as a podcast. I really don't. But this is it's just so incredibly frustrating how it's escalated more to this as of right now. But the interesting thing, there is some type of flip side to this. But I have very little hope in regards to it. Like, people could say this is all smoke and mirrors. Jerry is a master of that. We've seen this time and time and over again with Ezekiel Elliott. Remember, everyone, the whole Zeke who? He made a comment during a media scrum, and Zeke wasn't really too happy about that. And when it came to the negotiating tactics, so Zeke was trying to hold out, and they did get the deal done eventually, which is fine. Cool. But yeah, it just really does make you wonder what the hell's going on sometimes. It really does. Like, and this is the thing that really annoys me the most. I genuinely thought we were past this whole thing of Jerry speaking to the media and causing more damage to this football team more than ever, because we had a good off season. Jerry didn't really partake in much media per se. He took more of a slight step back, and we drafted well. We traded. We made moves in free agency. We kind of like, when it came to hiring Brian Schottenheimer, we did have a shot at Jerry up for that at the time, thinking, why couldn't we get Dion? Why couldn't we get this guy? Why couldn't we get that? Which is completely valid. But as time went over, Brian Schottenheimer is winning over the fans. That is a fact. Because we're seeing what Schottenheimer is bringing to the table, and we're seeing him during training camp. Like, when fights break out, he's getting the whole team doing laps and basically doing drills. It's like as punishment to stop, like, be more disciplined, which is something that the Cowboys have lacked as a football team in general. We've lacked that complete discipline from that regard. So, and the way how Schottenheimer perceives himself, love it. And when it comes to the draft, etc., there was a theme. We were looking to kind of bring on leaders, like Revo was a leader at East Carolina, Izaraku was a leader at Boston College, Booker was a leader at Alabama, and like other players that were undrafted had leadership qualities as well. There was a theme going there. So, and going up to till now, it's just unbelievable. It really truly is, and I don't know what else I could really say in this matter. And I really do wish my co-host was here with me at this moment. Unfortunately, he's unavailable. But yeah, I thought I would try and like do an emergency podcast, let people know, and as this story is developing, we just need to wait and see what happens. But this is back to the flip side of things. And I can't remember who mentioned it exactly. I think a couple of reporters from ESPN kind of mentioned this, and I believe, let me see who also posted it. One of them was ESPN, and the other, Marcus Mosher, I believe, mentioned it as well, and Kevin Gray. Kevin Gray is saying Micah Parsons is in the right 100%. I totally agree. But the flip side is one player's name in particular, and that's Myles Garrett. Now, if you remember from last year, Myles Garrett was very unhappy at Cleveland. He put in a trade request. Then all of a sudden, he gets a brand new contract saying, oh yeah, I'm happy to stay. Smoking mirrors, pretty much. If this is the case, this is probably the most horrible way to treat your fans. If that's the case, I'm sorry. From Micah's end to Jerry's end, if this is all a game, and you will end up getting the contract, but I believe this is 100% real. I really do, because like from reading Micah's statement here, I would leave too. I would, and I think he's absolutely right in his. I think he's right in this. Like when the Cowboys are not willing to put their enter the room and start negotiating with your agent, that's a sign straight off the bat. Even though you as the player, you're willing to put everything on the line and be part of this football team for the long term. You've been a fan of this football team since you were a kid, along with your dad. I get it, but this is like breaking the camel's back here. It's like if that was me in that situation, I would go elsewhere as well if I feel as though I am not wanted. That's kind of what it feels like. But hypothetically, if this scenario is going to be Myles Garrett 2.0, oh yeah, I've put in a trade request. Oh, no. Then fast forward a week or two, Micah Parsons signed a new contract. Fans are not going to be happy, like, for the emotional roller coaster. They're going to be happy Parsons is staying. They're happy that he's been paid, and finally Jerry decides to get it done. But we're going to be so annoyed to start playing these absolute mind games, like putting the whole franchise, like the whole fan base, up in ransom, up in arms, while other teams at this current moment are coming in and mocking the fans, saying, oh yeah, we're going to take Parsons. Washington's shouting and bawling. It's, oh yeah, we're going to get him reunited with Dan Quinn. Like, at this point, I'm willing to take every single hit because we deserve it. We really do. For Cowboys Nation, we do deserve this criticism because we are not doing a good job in terms of that. It's like, if we really want to be serious and really contend for a championship with a brand new head coach, you keep your best players. That's what you do. But I think I will leave it there. But yeah, folks. But be sure to hit the like button. Please leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts about the whole Micah Parsons situation on YouTube, and be sure to hit the subscribe button on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. And be sure to go and check out the Believe Network as well. They do amazing other podcasts as well, covering all other NFL teams and other sports from baseball to basketball, all the above. Be sure to go and check them out. But on the final note is we will be back on Sunday. Mike will be back, and we will be having a special guest on the show, covering basically the odds for the Cowboys in terms of various odds. We'll be checking that out and see how things will transpire if that's the case now with the whole Micah Parsons situation. But we'll see what happens, folks. But until then, folks, go Cowboys, and it's not just America's team, it's the world's team. Sadly, it doesn't feel like really good saying it at this very moment. But anyway, folks, you guys have a good one and have a lovely weekend. See you guys later.
That's a wrap on the World's Team Podcast. Smash that like button and hit subscribe, Cowboys Nation. This ain't just America's team, it's your team.
Touchdown!
It's the World's Team, only on Believe, where real fans live.
How about them Cowboys?